A lot of people ask me how I get bright, beautiful colors, and perhaps more importantly, how I can see into the shadows, those rose skins that are lurking, the Groot skins that are proned out. How do I pull them out? How do I see them before it's too late? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you settings you can change in-game, even for my console folks, and then there's some extra special sauce over for my PC players that just completely changed the game, and it's something I've been using for years with no system performance impact. You guys know I made a filters guide all the way back in Verdansk, and man, did it do wonders for pulling out shadows and making the game beautiful, but you probably took maybe like a 5% hit on your frames, and that just wasn't worth it. Well, this zero performance hit and beautiful colors. Hey, let's go and get right into it. If you appreciate me helping you get better over here on the second channel, drop a like real quick. It means the world to me. So we're going to discuss the console specific stuff first, and this is also things you can change on PC. You can actually stack both the console with the PC stuff, which is what I do, but that's all up to personal preference. We'll get into that here in a moment. So over on console, and everyone, you can go ahead and go to your display. When you're on display, go to brightness. And then I bring my brightness up to 55 if I'm playing on console. That's going to help bring out those shadows. I mean, look at that. Look at the word Call of Duty popping out of the shadows. Obviously, you can go higher, but you might get totally washed out, and then, you know, you get hit by a flashbang, and then you're blinded. Okay. I would not mess with your display gamma. If anything, you'll mess with gamma over on your monitor, but that's something we can discuss here in a moment. And then from there, we're going to go to the left trigger. We're going to pull up interface. And then when we go to interface, we're going to go down to color customization. Now, you can go through here, and I've done some work here as well, where we actually create custom colors, because some of these colors aren't that bright, right? Like the default color of yellow isn't that bright. If you want a full up neon color, like let's say this red isn't bright enough for you, you can select a different color red that will maybe pop a little bit more for you. So depending on your likes, depending on your taste, some people get fancy, throw on pinks and stuff. That's totally up to you. Like party, for example, I might want this to be a more bold green, and now my teammates are popping off the map a little bit more. But to make the whole map look more beautiful, what we're going to do is we're going to go down to color 2, hit filter 2, and then the color filter target, you can either have be for world only, or you can have it be for interface only, which won't change how the world looks. But I personally like both of them to have that little bit of extra pop. You can then scroll down and choose how intense you want it to be, but I would suggest going all the way to the right, and that's going to make your game look a little bit more bright and vibrant. Now, for my console players, there are some things you can do over on your Xbox or your PlayStation settings, because you can do some color customization there in your console specific settings. You can also mess with your monitor a little bit to bring up the saturation on your monitor display itself, or the brightness or gamma or the black level on the monitor or TV as well. But unfortunately, that's pretty limited. Okay, if you want to get to the point where you get to something looking like this, now we got to start talking about monitor LUTs. And there's no other better person to talk about this than the person that we co-developed this with. And let's be honest, he did most of the legwork. His name is ArtIsWar. This guy, if you don't know of him, is a genius in the Call of Duty community and has done so many amazing services for the community for free and provides them to you. Okay, he's going to be linked in the pinned comment and the description. This guy was a videographer on Better Call Saul, you know, like Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul. Like, he's that good. And what he's the best at is color grading. And we were talking about it, and we decided more people need to get this product into the game because it's so bleak and dull, and it just makes it legitimately more fun to play. So I'm going to let him explain through his video how to set this up. Everything that will be needed will be in the pinned comment and the description. If you want to learn more, possibly about audio tunes, because he will help you pull out more footsteps, he will be linked in the pinned comment and the description. One of the greatest sources of value in the Call of Duty community. Make sure as you finish checking out this guide and you set up your color filters that you check out Art, because he is the man.
The app we're going to download is on GitHub, which is an open source repository, which makes this very useful for the future of this tool. If the community is really interested in applying filters to their game, very coding savvy people in our community can contribute to this app on GitHub and make custom versions for us gamers. I'll show it on the screen here. It's called DWM LUT. What this application does is it runs and it loads the filters that I've made in DaVinci Resolve. It applies it in the monitor chain of Windows like a color calibration filter all over your monitor. This tool works in very similar ways to VibranceGUI, which I'll mention later in the video. This app functions like a more customizable Vibrance control panel on Nvidia, or like Nvidia overlays. It's very lightweight and will cost you 0 frames. You can find the direct download link below for the application, as well as a link to the GitHub page if you want to know more about the application, who made it, and possibly fork it so we can have a cooler, more gamer version of this app that we can hotkey or maybe make filter banks for. The possibilities really are endless. You'll want to click the download link and it will download a file called releases.zip. Go ahead and extract this to your desktop and rename it to Filter Factory. At this point, y'all need the actual filters. To get my filters, go to my Twitch chat, which is linked below, and I'll show it here on the screen, and type !Warzone filters. My stream bot should return a command with a download link for you to download another zip file. Unzip this file and drag that folder inside of the Filter Factory folder we made on your desktop. Go ahead and open that folder we just made on your desktop. Inside, you will find an application called DWM-LUT-GUI. Go ahead and open this application. You may get a warning here that says Windows doesn't recognize this developer. Don't freak out. Like I said, Fove's made sure this app is safe. Go ahead and click the More Info hyperlink and click Run Anyway. This very simple window will appear, and let's start by clicking the icon in the taskbar next to the Start button and select Pin to Taskbar so that this app never gets lost in a folder somewhere. In the main section of the window, you'll see a list of monitors connected to your computer. You'll want to select the monitor in the 00 position, as this is your Windows primary monitor and most likely your gaming monitor. Once you've selected your primary monitor, go to the top of the LUT utility window and go to Browse next to SDR. It's very important here that you choose SDR because all of the filters that I made will only work in SDR color space. They are not made to function on an HDR monitor. Once you click Browse, a new Explorer window will open. Go ahead and browse to your desktop, choose the Filters Factory folder, and choose the Warzone Filters folder. Inside, you'll see a couple options. There are two main variations on the filters for Warzone 2. The first one is called Treyarch Inspired, and this one is simply just a color tweak. So the color balance is shifted in terms of color temperature, and the saturation and specific colors are made to pop a bit more. The Treyarch Inspired LUT does not adjust exposure at all. The next variation on filter or LUT that I made has the tagline Shadow Seer, and I made this because I specifically went in with the intent of boosting the hard to see areas in dimly lit windows on Al Mazrah. Hopefully this filter also helps in some of the dark tunnels on Asik Island. You'll see in this filters pack that there's a couple with IceManIsaac's name. He's one of the streamers that tested these for me, and he provided some very useful feedback. Go ahead and try those because they're a very, very specific type of color boost. You'll see his filters also have a traditional Treyarch inspired version as well as a Shadow Seer. It's very easy to change these later on. All you have to do is go to Browse and choose a different filter and then click Apply in the main window again, so don't feel like you have to pick one and stick with it. I personally really like the Shadow Seer versions as they really do help see in some of the darker spots, and they make the game just look very different. Once you pick the filter you want to try, click Open, and then the bottom right of the window, click Apply. At this point, you should see the colors on your monitor shift quite a bit. This is how you know it's working. The app working so simply like this is exactly why I'm not too worried about the anti-cheat concern. This application applies an entire color calibration filter over your entire display output, and this is actually a great segue into my next point. If you are a single PC streamer or content creator and you want to use these filters, you're also going to have to apply these filters through OBS's Apply LUT filter on your game capture or your display capture. These will not output through display captures on Windows like Discord or OBS. If you're a dual PC streamer that clones their main monitor onto their capture card, once you apply the filter once, it will apply to both your main monitor as well as the clone capture card. If you're a dual PC streamer that uses OBS on their gaming PC to project, you're gonna have to go ahead and apply the filter to your main monitor, as well as select your capture card and apply the same filter there. As I mentioned, this app is super convenient and lightweight. If you minimize it, it stores in the tray next to your clock. You can right-click the icon there, select Apply, select Disable, or select Disable and Exit. If you click Apply and close the application, the color filters will stay on, so it's best to minimize it to the tray so you can on-off it at will. If you have a GPU and used its software like Nvidia Control Panel, desktop color or AMD's equivalent to adjust your game color, I highly recommend navigating to that tool and restoring it to default. I really put a lot of work into customizing these initial filters, and I hope y'all are as excited about them as I am. If you appreciate my work, come by the Twitch chat and let me know. I've shown it on the screen multiple times. And please, by all means, join the Discord. I'm going to work really hard to keep the Filter Factory section of the Discord up to date so that you all have access to the newest news all the time.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that go and wraps it up. Once again, make sure to thank Art. Go check him out over on his Twitch channel. Make sure to join his Discord because he is going to be developing Modern Warfare 3 specific filters. Now, don't get me wrong. I think they look beautiful in-game as is. They're based off the same engine of Warzone 2, but depending on the map, especially Urzikstan and how they do the coloring on Urzikstan, he's going to be doing specific filters for that. So make sure to support Art, support me if you found some value in this video, and make sure to drop a like and subscribe for even more Warzone content. Peace.